truths that I always believe every year to be true. So I always start with these in my mind, and then I work around them because I can't change these facts.
Yep.
Number one is that every type of zone defense can be beat.
Fact.
Number two is that man loses versus certain routes almost all the time.
Fact, with a asterisk that says based upon man coverage route running ratings.
Yes. Lastly, blitzing limits time. However, it reduces your coverage.
Fact.
So what can we take away from general pass defense when we now learn that every zone combo can be beat, man, it always loses versus certain routes, generally, and blitzing is going to limit time but reduce your coverage? What combination do you want to use in your pass defense to create these things in your favor?
Well, you gotta immediately. My mind immediately goes to the blitzing scenario that you gave us. So, what I've always believed in, and I've kind of tailed away a little bit this year, just based on how coverage works in this year's game. But then now I'm kind of going back to the aggressive style. Is that in third and long situations, you don't want to give your opponent any time in the pocket to make a read. You want to send the house, send the noise, the kitchen sink, send your best blitz at your opponent. And don't give them time in the pocket to let a guy get open and get free downfield. You know they're going to throw downfield.
Yeah,
and that's what ends up happening. Because here, let's talk about this, for example, right? The strength of this defense is not the deep secondary, right? The strength of the defense you see on the field right now is protecting the middle to short part of the field. Well, on first down, people come out and they're not necessarily thinking, I got to go downfield. I have to target everything downfield. They might be thinking, I need to get 4 or 5 yards. So where their mind is set in terms of where they want to throw the ball is they have the whole field as their oyster, right?
Right.
What ends up happening on third downs, they know that like it's time to go.
Yes.
And they start to immediately think, I must attack downfield. So that's when cover 3 against a 4 vertical passing concept can be very sketchy because your opponent is, whether you want them to or not, they're thinking to go downfield deep. Mm-hmm. And that's when you can get in tough situations if you don't call the appropriate defense, especially Madden 16 with the aggressive catching. You don't want a one-on-one battle against cover 3 and 4 verticals.
Right, you're going to be in trouble if they can fit that in. That's a good job by the safety getting deep, but generally, if you have time to wait there, you're going to be good. Another truth in the passing game that we talked about is Hammer UK is coming in and saying that down and distance affect the route combinations that can be used. So
yes.
If you're looking for intel, your opponent is not going to run stick a 4-yard route combo on 3rd and 15. It would be a very bad decision.
They run around 4. Yeah, right. You're like, yeah, absolutely.
There's limited things they can do, so you need to take that into account. So you talked a little bit about zone coverage right there and blitzing. I'm going to talk about man. So man coverage, when it loses versus certain routes,
yes.
I think people get upset online. They say Conley say he just gets matched up against this linebacker one-on-one, right? He's going to win on that cut.
Most likely, yeah.
People consider a route to be
a cheese route.
Yes, that medium level players use it. Not beginners who don't know it, but medium players who just see, oh, this is great in CFM, then they bring it online.
It gets open.
And they win a couple games.
Yep.
So on the cut, potentially, you're going to win that route we've seen a million times. Same thing with corner routes to the tight end, plays like PA scissors, and then you've got this route to the halfback. Generally, you don't want the delayed route, but if you get a fast halfback, you can win against the linebacker. Let's see if we win on this cut. Sharkandrick West, not the guy you want.
Jamie Collins, not matched up against that stud muffin.
So you're not always going to have the man coverage that you want at every part of the position. So what you need to do, and what is a must do to make this truth in your favor, is you have to, anytime you see this formation, and it's a situation where you want to play man, you have to cover A on the cut. You have to help out on A on the cut.
That's your one job.
The next thing, that's your one job. You could drop, say, Hicks into a flat zone to stop the halfback, but now we're getting a little bit
too far
advanced what we want to do. The number one thing you have to do is either be ready to take away the tight end corner or this 4 verticals route. This one's a little deeper than a regular one. Generally, the cut's going to be a little flatter from the A route, but this is what people do use and win pretty well in the cut. Conley's terrible. I believe, at route
Yeah,
running.
he's a fourth receiver on the Chiefs who don't score many touchdowns with the receivers.
Until maybe Sunday.
Until Saturday? Maybe Saturday? Yeah.
So
right.
you have to user that route and take it away underneath, and then look to drop to another route when you're playing man. If you get beat by this route and you say, I can't, how do I stop this 4 verticals route? I'm playing 2-man under and I keep getting beat. Yes, that is a truth that you are going to get beat. That's the answer to the question.
Winning. It's going to keep winning.
Correct.
So
you've got to steer away from that. The other thing with like route combinations in zone coverage.
Great point here.
Curl, flat, corner, always going to pretty much beat cover 3.
It's going to beat pretty much every zone defense.
Cover 2, going to get beat deep by 4 verticals, going to be vulnerable in the seam. It's going to open you up to one-on-one catches downfield. So let's see if we can find a good corner route combo to go against cover 3. Or
Y corner will work.
You think Y corner will work?
Yeah, he's got a kind of hot
do a couple hot routes. Okay, so we got Conley again, our boy. We're going to put Avant on the flat, and we're going to streak Macklin. So we'll either end up having Avant if the flat drops deep. We'll end up having Conley if we wait till the corner breaks, or we'll have Macklin deep potentially and always kind of one-on-one. So let's see if we can make this read to the right side.
You had the flat, but
had the flat. Wanted to go the LB.
We need a little deeper of a corner. That's the problem, I guess, with this corner right here is we need a deeper one.
So we'll hit the flat. Looks like we got our throw right there. That's going to work. The play halfback wheel from gun split close, always going to work against you. Corner strike route, always going to beat the C route. Always generally going to beat man-to-man pretty successfully. So what ends up happening is you have to know what you're in and then where you're weak. You can't be upset if you call cover 3 and then get beat by a corner. You can't be upset if you call man-to-man and get beat by the 4 verticals route across the middle of the field, because these things are true in almost every year in Madden I can recall.
Yeah.
If you blitz,
every year I've ever played. Yes.
If you blitz, what takes away reads when you blitz is the time the quarterback gets under pressure and sacked.
Yes.
It does reduce your coverage, so if you can't get to his second and third read with adjustments, by blitzing you take away their third read.
Yeah, so that's a good point what you're bringing up there, Farrell. So a lot of times you'll see like this would be like a blitz you'd show, right?
Yeah.
And it would look something like this, and I would use this guy here, and then a lot of people will say, "Well, Gibbs, you're giving up the middle of the field wide open down the middle of the seam."
Right.
And I'm not going to disagree with that, but the problem is the time you have in the pocket.
Right. Say I was going to streak Avant here.
Right.
And like I didn't want to throw to Conley because I knew I needed more time, or you were going to take away Conley, but you couldn't drop to Avant. Avant's my third read. Okay, is West open? No. Is Conley open? No. Okay, I'm going to throw the seam, but I got sacked. So the third read was taken away by the pressure, not by the defensive setup or the user or anything. So that is how you can take that step away.
And then the next level there too is a great point from Hammer in the chat. Like if you play an aggressive cover 0 defense where you're blitzing and then use press, that's like the next step, because now you're going to slow down the passing offense even more, which is going to allow your blitz to get in, and again now it has
right. So I want to hit X when he cuts at the 15-yard line, because that should win there, but let's see. No.
You don't have time. You don't even have time.
Couldn't do it.
No time.
Couldn't do it. So by mixing in zone and man, what makes that good is this little Avant route is never going to really get open against man coverage. It's just not built for that. It's built for the flat. So if I think it's man, or excuse me, if I think it's zone and I know I need Avant to make the route combo work, but all of a sudden it's man, well now I have a guy I can't even throw to.
Right. So, you really your resort here is to throw the corner route or maybe the streak or for West or Wilson on the cut.
So, but since you're playing man, that you can't get beat on the corner.
On the corner route, correct.
So you've got to be ready either way.
Drags.
And you're working these truths in your favor.
It's like, okay, so you got to watch out for drags, deep crossers like the 4 verticals post,
right?
Corners, speed outs.
Correct.
That's really what you have to watch out for. Slants. Quick slants can cause a problem as well.
Totally. So these are the important things to remember about pass defense. If you are setting something up, think about the weaknesses, and then how can you take them away. And if you get beat in zone coverage, there's a reason. Zone is good, but zone's also terrible. It really depends on what you call, the situation, in the routes used against you.
So I was playing a game last night on our channel here on Madden Tips, and I was trying to call out my reads, my shots before the play would start.
Right.
Reading the secondary, I'm reading the single high safety, and it makes me think cover 3 or cover 1. I see 2 high safeties, corners up. I think cover 2, right? So I'm making my reads, and then I end up being wrong on a couple of those reads. And there's a guy in the chat. His name was Nike's on my feet. So shout out to Nike's on my feet if he's still here. But he started saying, like, he was kind of like, how come you're not getting upset? He was kind of mad at me at first, trolling me at first, but then he was kind of like, well, why aren't you getting upset that your reads are wrong? And I think a lot of what you're saying there is, I think that's part of what I enjoy so much about Madden. That's, to me, is like, that's playing the game. Like, I don't necessarily love just going in, running setups, and getting a sack every single time. Yes, that's fun. Yes, I have a great time doing that when that happens. But what I find fun about the game is when you sit down and you look at the defense. Okay, you make the read. Okay, I think it's cover 2 man. I'm going to audible to the play that I know that gives me a good shot to beat man with some slants, some corners, some angles, right, some speed outs. And then I'm going to snap the ball. Oh, it's man, I was right. And then I run to the correct read and I throw the ball to the right receiver. That is what I find enjoyable. And I think that if you guys can take that as a tip and see, okay, how can I incorporate this into the way I play the game? Hopefully, maybe you guys can get some more enjoyment out of the game as well. Not get so frustrated when things don't go your way in the game. And if you do get beat, usually when you get beat, when you're making those reads pre-snap, and if you're wrong, you don't necessarily feel as bad because you're like, wow, I got fooled.
Yeah.
And that's just a different way to look at the game entirely. So, appreciate it, dudes, though.
Good tip there. We're going to shout out to the chat real quick. We've got C. Gurrell with the Resub Hype 13th month. That's pretty much Conductor's Club status in my book. C. Gurrell, keep an eye out tonight for